How you guys doing out there? My name is Kyle and I'm finally going to be reviewing Jason Bourne, which I have been excited for quite some time. And this movie is directed by Paul Greengrass and once again stars Matt Damon as assassin Jason Bourne. Now before I start reviewing Jason Bourne, I'd like to briefly mention two things. The first thing is that I'm wearing the shirt that I've worn for each and every Bourne review. I wanted to wear this shirt separately just for the Bourne series because it's very special to me. And the second thing is that I had an absolute blast rewatching the Bourne trilogy. As you can see, I have all my Blu-rays right there. And when everyone found out that Jason Bourne was coming out this summer, we all started to rewatch the trilogy, and I think everyone just remembered how good this trilogy was. Not just from a technical level, but the fact that it was so suspenseful and action-driven, but it gave a really compelling story about a man who lost his identity and was being relentlessly chased by people he didn't even remember who want to kill him for some reason. So after what I just said, I was pumped out of my mind for Jason Bourne. In terms of a technical level, each Bourne movie I think got progressively better as they went on. The first one was a very low-key, contained thriller. The second one was an absolute badass action movie with tons of awesome thrills. And the third one did bring a lot more plot, but it really was an awesome action movie as well. Coming out of Jason Bourne, guys, I could positively say that I had a blast with this movie. Is it as excellent as the Bourne trilogy? No, but guys, it is leaps, and I mean this, leaps and bounds better than the Bourne Legacy. I really had a blast watching Jason Bourne. I'm going to explain my promise towards the end, but let me of course talk about the positives because I'm an optimist. Matt Damon, once again, kills it as Jason Bourne. He is absolutely amazing. He was born to play this character, and I really think Matt Damon is a spectacular actor, but I love the character of Jason Bourne. He has an incredible adventure throughout the Bourne trilogy, and in this movie, without really giving away a lot of spoilers, he's being brought back from a certain person he trusted in the last movie, and he begins to uncover secrets and hidden truths about his past, while also trying to fight against the CIA, and yeah, I think we know the drill at this point. And I can tell you guys this, the first 30 minutes of this movie is some of the most exhilarating action I have seen this decade. My jaw was dropped, my palms were sweating, and I was watching this movie like a hawk. The first 30 minutes I was saying to myself, I'm back. I am absolutely into this movie because Paul Greengrass, thank God, is back to directing. And once again, his action is so gritty, realistic. There's definitely a bit of shaky cam, but to me, it's shot like a documentary, just like Supremacy and Ultimatum, to give it such an in-the-moment feel, disorientating you because you're not going to see everything so clearly. Now, without spoiling anything, guys, there is an absolutely beautiful motorcycle chase. Seriously, if someone said they wanted to go see Jason Bourne, I would rewatch the movie just for that chase. I think Julia Stiles, once again, is fantastic as Nikki. And even though I liked Marie a little bit more, I think that Nikki has a better personal connection with Bourne because they had a previous relationship with each other. Tommy Lee Jones also stars in this movie, and he's actually playing the bad guy, which is something that was very unexpected because he usually always plays the protagonist, unless if it's Batman Forever. And I don't really want to talk about that movie, but I do think Tommy Lee Jones does do a great job, as always. I've always liked Tommy Lee Jones. Now let's talk a little bit about Alicia Vikander. She was spectacular in this movie. She was a tough-as-nails agent, and I really like Alicia Vikander. I think she was very good in Ex Machina, as well as The Danish Girl. I think she's a very, very talented actress, and it was exhilarating to watch every sequence with her. Because Alicia Vikander is pretty good looking, and I'm not going to deny that. But I do think her character really does have a lot to do. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. If I was critiquing the film specifically for its action sequences and the acting, this is A-plus material. This is awesome. This is exactly what I wanted from a Jason Bourne movie. When you have a good director and you have Matt Damon, your movie will most likely be successful. Now, what I loved about the Bourne trilogy is that each movie, he progressively got better as the movies got better. Jason Bourne began remembering more things, the fight sequences became better, but everything felt really original in their own right. But it did create a bit of a formula for the Bourne movies, and when you go back and rewatch them, specifically for the formula, they do feel very similar. And Jason Bourne really feels a little bit formulaic at times. It feels like they were a little bit too safe with the actual formula. Now, that doesn't mean that everything I've just stated is bad, because when we see Jason Bourne hacking into things, it is amazing. I really think this movie should have come out when Bourne Legacy came out. It would have been very close to the original trilogy, because we have spent nearly a decade away from the Bourne movies, because I don't like the Bourne legacy. Now, when it comes to continuations of long-running franchises or reboots of franchises, there really should be a standard goal for what you're trying to accomplish. And I know a lot of critics have definitely come up with this agenda, but I definitely agree. You have to think to yourself, does it add anything new to the franchise? Is there any change in it that feels original about it? And most importantly, should this movie really exist? These kinds of questions have absolutely split critics across the board because there are very mixed reviews for this movie. For me personally, there are definitely reasons why I can side with yes, there are definitely new things, and why no, there really aren't that many new things. My first problem with Jason Bourne really is on the no side. But my yes side comes with something that I think is also kind of a bad thing about the movie, but is surprisingly kind of a good thing about it at the same time. There is a subplot in this movie involving an international guy who wants to sell this app. And people are upset by this because it really would violate their privacy. This really is the thing that makes it kind of stand out in a way, because the rest of the movie we're seeing Bourne do all these things that are super awesome, but we've seen him do in the other three movies. Whereas this subplot is very different. It's very new. It's a post-Snowden age, whereas the Bourne trilogy was a post-9/11 age. My problem with it, however, is it just feels so disjointed. It doesn't feel like it should be in the movie, but the fact that it is in the movie is a bad thing, but it's also a good thing. I can't really decide because there are reasons why it's bad and there are reasons why it's actually pretty good. Because in a Jason Bourne movie, we should see Bourne, specifically Bourne, running away from the CIA, them trying to find him, and having awesome chases and explosions. I do think the dialogue is pretty tense though. There are some lull sequences in this movie where the dialogue isn't as good, but it's never bad in my opinion. I do think the dialogue gets really good towards the ending of the film, and it gets very tense and suspenseful when Bourne finds out a lot of things that I'm not going to spoil. So guys, despite some shortcomings and a subplot that feels a bit disjointed, I really did enjoy Jason Bourne because Jason Bourne really stands out in my opinion as the most realistic assassin out of any assassin we've seen in these movies. And if you're going into this movie expecting an action thrill ride, you are gonna love this movie because every action sequence is directed so well. And I think the acting is also really good as well. Guys, in the end, I really enjoyed Jason Bourne, and despite a couple of those flaws, I really had a good time with it. So in the end, guys, I'm gonna give Jason Bourne a B+. It's a tad bit disappointing, but I still really enjoyed this film. So guys, what did you think about Jason Bourne? Because it's gotten a lot of mixed reviews. I would love to hear all your comments, so send them in the comment section below. And guys, thank you so much for watching my movie reviews, as always. I will be back in a few days doing a review for the movie called Nerve, which I actually read the book for, and really enjoyed it, surprisingly. So I'm pretty excited for that movie. I'm hoping it's going to be good. Please be good. Plus, guys, I do have a couple of analyzed reviews, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Those reviews are coming in the next couple of days. You guys are the greatest. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, and stay tuned.